Oh yeah, come on, Mike. Come on, Mike, get in there. Today, we are here with our very first guest, Mike Zaniser. Gym owner, real estate mogul, we'll call it, dog dad, supercar owner. So I think you answered my question, Mike, but 35 jobs getting fired is pretty extreme.
We have the 3 fitness locations. We do primarily large group and small group training, so we don't just have like an open membership where people come in and work out by themselves. Our largest competition isn't the gym down the street. It's not Planet Fitness, it's not Anytime Fitness, it's TikTok. We didn't have a savings account, we didn't have a retirement because we're self-employed. I never saw a Lamborghini or a supercar in person until I was 40.
So you mentioned the business, funded the investments, funding the lifestyle.
For most of the years, over the last 6 years, 15, 18 houses a year, fixing them up, rehabbing them, renting them out.
Are you sinking in? Oh yeah, come on, Mike. Come on, Mike, get in there. Oh yeah. Come on, all the way in there. Come on, nice and easy. Come on, brother. At least that lower half. Come on, come on. Don't think about it. Just do. It's like get in a pool. There you go. Come on. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Look, I love it. Welcome to the Ice Tub Talk podcast. I'm Tyler Kelly, CEO and owner of InstaShred.
I'm Devin Tiarina, head trainer and nutrition coach at InstaShred.
And today, we are here with our very first guest, Mike Zaniser. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Mike is a gym owner, real estate mogul, we'll call it, dog dad, supercar owner, 10 out of 10 husband, and I think most importantly, you know what, I'll say it. I think, Mike, you have what most people would desire in life, honestly.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
Muscles.
absolutely. What'd you say?
Said muscles.
Muscles, yeah, look at them. They should be in the tub, but they're not.
They're nice and contracted
They're,
right now, that's for sure.
They are for our enjoyment right
Some
now.
of them are happy.
Yes, I see them twitching already. Look at those chest fibers going.
They're
I love it. I love it. And Mike, this is your first ever cold tub, isn't it?
First cold tub.
How you doing
Last
so
cold
far?
tub.
It is, it's getting better.
Okay.
As it gets numb,
Okay. If you could describe it in one word, what would you call
exhilarating.
it? Nice. Nice.
Yeah, it's an experience so far.
By the end of the podcast, you might be all the way in, right?
Yeah, maybe.
We have faith. You'll be all the way in.
Okay. You know, my low back has been the trouble part, so that one,
All the more reason to get it in the water.
that's why it's in there. It's low.
So now that I just hyped you up a bit and said probably the things that you wouldn't say about yourself, what are you all about? What are you doing today in life? Why do you think
Man.
you're here?
Well, you know, it's been a long road. I guess we have 3 locations for fitness training centers based in and around Rockford, Illinois. We opened in 2009. So that's me and my wife, Lindsay. Woo.
My man.
There you go. Nice.
But
and
then, you know, in the last couple of years, we have a great team. So that's given us a lot more free time to expand into other businesses and other avenues as we kind of try and figure out what's next.
Yeah.
So the last 6 years, we've gone pretty hard on real estate. And we've accumulated a good amount of rental properties. So that's been keeping us busy over the last couple of years.
That's awesome.
My dad was a mailman, retired after about 37 years. So after school, I figured I would just be a mailman.
yeah.
Wow.
And then got out of school and didn't want to be a mailman.
Yeah.
So,
What was kind of like the epiphany behind that kind of stopped you from doing that?
you know, I've probably, over the course of my life, mostly before my early 20s, was fired from over 35 jobs.
Okay.
So I came to the conclusion that I was just a bad employee.
Wow.
And I wanted to do something else, something a little more on my own terms, my own flexible schedule.
Yeah.
Because I think that was a good part of not being a good employee, not showing up, not caring, not doing enough. But when I started doing it for myself, I didn't have a plan B. So we just had to do it because we had to pay the bills. And I had my daughter when I was 18. So that kind of changed a couple things. And really made it have to step up a little bit.
Is that the ice buzzer, Devin?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Time
man,
for more ice.
You got more coming, Mike? I hear you chattering over there. You gonna be all right?
We're going to fight through it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. That one got me.
Yeah, you got to really crank that sucker down because the mic weighs quite a bit.
Get it? The mic? Mike's mic?
Let's see what we're sitting at here. We're at...
Oh, that's a swarmer on the neck. That's some cold.
Oh, my God. Guess what we're at right now?
48.
Currently. Close. 51.
51?
51
All
right now.
I don't believe it.
Mike is a trooper.
It's going
My
down
man.
again.
I don't believe it.
So I think you answered my question, Mike, but 35 jobs getting fired is pretty extreme. So would you say that was mostly your character as a cause of all those?
Character, work ethic, motivation, variety of things. But just an overall bad employee.
Got it.
Was that all before the age of 18?
Before the age of 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was kind of like the turning point that you realized, like, after having your daughter, that you're like, I need to get my shit together and make some changes?
You know, it wasn't even for a few years after that, but somehow I had got my first house when I was 17. So the bills started coming in, and kind of in a house hack form, I had 3 roommates lined up that were paying the rent for the most part when they were paying. And then when they weren't paying, then I had to start fronting more of the bills. Wow. So just kind of like an evolution into that.
Okay.
I mean, okay. At least you had the work ethic to take care of what they weren't.
Yeah.
Right? You could have done the same thing they did.
Yeah. A lot of the times, you know, like when I met Lindsay, my wife, I was a waitress and we worked together at a restaurant, and I would make enough money to get a case of Bud Light that night, and then I would just want to leave and go home early.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something.
So that's changed a lot since then.
Yeah, sure. You know what hit home too? I didn't know this about you, that your dad was a mailman.
Yeah.
My dad was a mailman too.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you knew, but he took his life 6 years ago. A lot of it due to the stress from that job and the people he was surrounded with. But he didn't know any other way, and he really pushed me as his son to become an electrician, because he said, Ty, this is the highest paying job out of college. This is the way to go. So it was either a garbage man or an electrician. And I did pursue it for about 2 years, but I just wasn't into it.
Yeah, my dad had always talked about the trades and, you know, HVAC. And 20 years ago or so, you know, that was the option. The internet wasn't a thing. You couldn't start a podcast or have a YouTube channel or anything like that and make ad revenue. Like, you had to get a real job.
Yeah. That's so true. I feel like a lot of parents, I mean, it's changed now with social media and all the different avenues you can make money, but I feel like a lot of people, I mean, even when I grew up, it's like, be a nurse, go be a mailman, you know, anything along those lines that is a more clear-cut route. That's like, you have good insurance, you'll have a retirement plan, you'll have these things that you don't necessarily care about in that time because you want to do more things with your life, but I feel like that plays a huge role, is what you hear from your parents growing up. Of,
For
like,
sure.
If they're not giving you a bigger picture to kind of think of more out of the box things you want to do with your life, that's all you kind of know. It's like, okay, these are my options. I should pick one and just be happy to have what I can have.
Yeah. And you guys are a little younger than me. When I was growing up, you know, keeping up with the Joneses was, you only knew what the guy next door and the guy down the street had for a car. So I never saw a Lamborghini or a supercar in person until I was 40. Now on my Instagram, it's fitness and 20-year-old kids with Lamborghinis.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different way to look at life, and it's not real. Like, that's paid for.
It's a highlight reel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's paid for. The 20-year-old kid on Instagram, not paid for.
Rentals, leases,
rented, borrowed,
friends,
standing
like
in front of.
parents.
Great point.
Yeah.
You never know. You never know.
It's just all glam. You
Yeah.
know, to try and make it seem like they have it together. And you see that with a lot of people that own businesses and like show they're successful to a sense, to try and get you to buy their programs, invest in their coaching because they're wealthy and they have all the success. But there's quite a few people that we know that that's not true. It's all a part of marketing to get you to buy into their courses and coaching, and they don't even have it figured out, and they're just making it by.
Yep. And, you know, I was talking about this morning. We have the 3 fitness locations. We do primarily large group and small group training, so we don't just have like an open membership where people come in and work out by themselves. But our largest competition isn't the gym down the street. It's not Planet Fitness. It's not Anytime Fitness. It's TikTok and it's Instagram, because there's so much noise on there and they know people's algorithms. So once they start searching for fitness, maybe that's how they found us, through an Instagram or Facebook ad or something like that. Now they just see all the other stuff, all the sexy stuff.
Yeah.
But when they come to us, as you know, we want you to eat good food and exercise consistently.
Yeah.
I would not have known that.
But online, everybody's just ripped and sexy, because the 20-year-old kids haven't been kicked in the face enough by life. They don't have kids, probably still live at home, don't have a lot of bills. So there's a lot of other variables that hasn't happened to them. Like if a D1 athlete or a gymnast is in there doing muscle ups, good for them. They're supposed to.
Yeah.
You're a 40-year-old mom of two who hasn't exercised or ate well in the last 20 years. You don't get a cheat day. You've had 20 years of cheat days.
Yeah.
And you can't expect to do a muscle up this month by following this program, because we've got a long road ahead.
Yeah.
If it ever gets there.
True.
Yeah.
All right. Did you hear that buzzer, Ty?
Yeah, did you just hear that? I think that's the elderberry buzzer.
Oh,
right
yeah.
there. Bring us a nice cold elderberry.
I'm ready.
Mike's into the combo.
He'd be going for some hot tea or some hot
ice
cocoa
cold
right
drink.
now or something to warm up.
Ice tub.
I'm getting comfortable. I don't want to. I don't want to
cheers.
cheers
Man,
that.
look at that. Wow, savage. All right, well, I've got one more thing before we get out of this torture tub here. Question for you. So, Mike, when you showed up, I asked you, first thing I think I said was, chill day? And you go, chill life. Honestly, think about that, though.
Yeah.
Like, how nice is that? Like, that's the dream right there. So,
That's-
honestly, with what you shared so far, what has brought you to be able to say that upon showing up saying, chill life?
Yeah. You know, it's not the business that got us there, but it's the business that got us to the investments that got us there.
Yeah. So for entrepreneurial people watching this that kind of have bigger dreams, could you like elaborate where you kind of started to like get to where you're at now for, you know, like the chill life that you're living?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I made a post about this a couple months ago, and it was probably the one that got the biggest response that I've ever had. But I've been a fitness coach probably since I was 17. So that was one of the jobs I got fired from, but I did that for 3 years right out of school.
Okay.
I got into construction, started doing that. And then when we were doing construction, we were working out at the house. And so we had 30 machines with weight stacks on them at the house, in the basement, in the kitchen. We didn't have a kitchen table. We had a squat rack.
Okay.
Lindsay hit her head a few too many times on that, trying to get outside and clean stuff. And the neighbors kept calling the city on us because we had a bunch of trucks and snowplows for doing construction. So we had to get an office. So we moved into a 1,800 square foot office space. We took all the exercise equipment in there. At the time, we were doing door-to-door window sales. And winter came, and I had started working out with some people because all the stuff was there. Started working out with a few more people. Back then, we put a couple ads on Craigslist. Got my first personal training client off of Craigslist.
Okay.
And that was right when winter happened. So we didn't want to go back to working outside because it was cold. You know, cold is not my thing.
No pun intended.
So then we just kind of got one more client, got another client, and never went back. But ever since that day in 2009 that we started that, probably from 2009 to 2016 or longer, it was 16 to 20-hour days.
Okay. Wow.
7 days a week.
Wow.
My daughter came to the gym. She got picked up, dropped off at the gym. We slept at the gym, not because we were poor. Like, we didn't have any money, but we had a house. But we slept there because it wasn't worth taking the 10 minutes to drive home to come back in 4 hours. So I wanted to really maximize the amount of time we had. Because we were working, I was doing everything. I was doing the intake, I was building the walls, I was training people, I was sweeping up after, you know, everything was a mess.
Yeah.
Somehow, we got enough clients to where we were almost paying the bills. We didn't really make money for the first 8 years because we had no idea what we were doing. But after the second year, I could get people to come from like 25 minutes away, but I couldn't get their friends to come because they didn't see the value in it yet. So I was like, ha, I'll go open a location by you because this one's not making money. So let's open another one because that's a great idea. So we did that. And then 2 years later or less, we did the same stupid thing. So now we had 2 locations that weren't making money or fully staffed. And I was training at one location, everything. Lindsay, because she's a gangster, was training at the other location, doing everything. And Lindsay's got a different background. She had a normal upbringing, went to school, went to DeKalb out here. Was an art teacher for a year, went through a strike in the Rockford district. Right around that time is when I got to the point where I needed more help at the gym because I couldn't possibly do anymore. So that worked out good, and we've never looked back from that. But that got us to the point in 2016 or so where we wanted to do something that's gonna like finish our life. Like we didn't have a savings account, we didn't have a retirement because we're self-employed, never thought of it. So we had 50 days that I can remember where I'd just wake up or be at the gym and just almost be crying because I don't want to do it anymore. Like I'm burnt out. I can make more money at McDonald's. So then we were looking at different investments, what to do. We've always been into construction. Real estate was kind of a natural fit. Went to the bank, said in 2016, said, cool, I got some money. We got some good credit. I want to buy a house. They said, well, let me see your taxes for the last 2 years. I was like, well, here, we showed 0 because we're self-employed. And they said, okay, well, until you have income for 2 years, we can't give you a loan for a house. So then we had to go back, keep grinding at the gym, 15-hour days, and write ourselves a W-2 paycheck, cash it, pay the taxes, but then take the money and put it right back in the business because the business wasn't making a lot of money. So we did that for 2 years until we were bankable, and then we were able to buy our first house. But we did it with intention. So it's not an overnight thing. Before we could do our first house, we've got 62 properties or so now. But before we could get our first one, we had to wait 2 years and save our money and suck it up because we were paying the taxes on the money we couldn't afford in the first place. But after that, we just kind of went as fast as we could. And the last 6 years have been pretty awesome.
Inspiring.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. All right, round 2. You ready to transition?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
All right. Did you survive? My man.
As long as I don't move.
It's good when your teeth start chattering.
Hey, we're taking a quick break to share with you our sponsor of the Ice Tub Talk podcast, the Ice Pod Company. I'm sitting here in their brand new long pod, and over here we've got the Ice Pod Pro version 2.0. These are the best insulated, most easy to set up, and most cost-efficient ice tubs on the market. So if you want to check them out for yourself, you can check it out in the description down below.
All right, we're back. Out of the tubs. How you feeling, Mike?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah,
I'm
buddy.
feeling good. I'm actually feeling a lot better than I thought I would.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know what to think, but this is probably the second coldest I've ever been in my life.
Wow.
So I just compared it to the other time when I was a popsicle, but this actually isn't bad. And we spent a good amount of time in the water,
Yeah, we did.
which I also wasn't expecting.
We did 20 minutes.
But-
I think.
Oh, man.
Once Tyler starts talking, it's just, everybody goes.
Yeah. So now I got to ask, when was the first?
It's an interesting story. We used to have, at my first house, we had an English Mastiff. So he was about 220 pounds, and he had epilepsy. So every once in a while, he'd have seizures, episodes. So he I let him outside to go to the bathroom, and he must have had a seizure. And after that, you don't really have your bearings. So he would kind of like walk into walls. So he kind of walked around the back of the house, and because we were working so much, 20-hour days, we didn't close our in-ground swimming pool. So it had iced over middle of winter, December, January, something like that. So there was a good thick layer of ice across the pool. He didn't come back to the door. So I went outside and I was calling his name. And then I heard this big splash. It's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I went and ran around the house, ripping my clothes off as we got, closer to the pool. Nobody else was home. Lindsay was working. And I jumped in the pool, crashed through the ice, grabbed him in this deep, nasty swimming pool, and I'm like breaking the ice up. And this thing weighs a lot. Like, it's a big dog. So I finally got him out of the pool, got him back in the house. When she got home, we were just both sitting in the entryway naked, just like shivering. Just looked like a pink rat. that was bad. Uh,
Wow.
going back, I don't know if I'd jump in the ice like that again, but
Wasn't expecting that story, were you?
so that's yeah. So this was a little more comfortable than that.
Okay.
Well, this is
My
gonna be a
head-
cold winter
My
experience.
Yeah,
head
right.
didn't go under the water.
Shit.
So
Wow.
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing that.
But no, I think this was a cool experience. Like I said, I've never really done the ice tubs before, and being in the fitness world for a long time, I've always thought about it. But I'm like, nah, I'm tropical. It's not for me. But I do actually feel really good right now.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
there's immense benefit. That's why we're doing it. And look
I
at
can
you.
I can almost feel my feet again. I got the boots on, and
Yep. Yeah, we got Mike. If you aren't familiar, these are compression boots.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
great benefits to these as well, because we're all about health up in here.
That's
aren't we?
right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
but- Good shit. So I want to ask about something you mentioned, the tubs, now that we're out. So you mentioned something along the lines, correct me if I'm wrong, the business, funded the investments, funding the lifestyle. So
Right.
can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So the business didn't for us seem to be like a means to an end, especially with a service-based business like a gym. Like, we're going to do north of $1 million this year in training sales, so in service. But if we left and two of our key players quit, there's not a lot of business left. So it's kind of a hard thing to sell. So even though it does well now and it's got systems, and 15 years later, we've got a lot of this stuff figured out, we could sell it for a couple 100,000 maybe, but then what? So we decided to use that, crank as much out of it as possible, and then take that straight into the investments. When we bought our first house, it ended up being a lot different than I thought. So my original mentality going into this was, if I just buy one house and I rent it out, even if I lose $100 a month, in 20 or 30 years or whatever, it'll be paid for. So if I do one house every 10 years, 30 years from now, when we retire, when I'd be like 70, we'd have a house paid for that we could sell. Then when I'm 71, we'd have a house paid for that I could sell. When I'm 72, we'd have another house paid for that we could sell. But we rented the first one out and we made $500 per month on it. So that made me think, I need as many of these as fast as possible. So we did everything we could. We robbed Peter to pay Billy, and we crunched as many numbers as possible to be able to just kind of roll them one right to the next, to the next, to the next. Then we ended up buying, for most of the years, over the last 6 years, 15, 18 houses a year, fixing them up, rehabbing them, renting them out, and then going to the bank and refinancing it, pulling all our money back out that we used to get it the first time, and then use that money again. So we didn't need to actually get that much money out of the business, because after we got the houses and the real estate going, it just kind of funded itself.
Impressive.
And then after we got over 15 or 20 properties that were making $400 or $500 a month each, just the cash flow from that, which we didn't need to live on because we had a salary from the gym business, those started self-funding the next houses.
Hell yeah. This shit gets me excited.
Yeah.
Love to hear that.
And I'm in a Facebook group with Lamborghini owners, and somebody posted in there, hey, just checking in, what's everybody do for a living, or what do you do to earn money? And out of that, I think there was 120 responses. There was 2 doctors, 3 lawyers, and every other person was self-employed.
Yeah.
So like we talked about earlier, go to school, get out of school, get a trade, get a good job. You can have a great life and you can have a great family.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have a supercar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
If
Totally
you do,
agree.
you'll have a really big payment on it. But that opened my eyes a lot to the ability that people have to kind of set their own destiny.
Yeah.
I barely graduated high school. My license plate says my GPA is 1.5. That's what I barely made it through high school with. I tried to go to college.
That's a real number. You can get a 1.5 GPA.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Wow. I didn't even know
Yeah,
that.
that's a solid D. And I ordered my transcripts because I was really curious about it. And I posted them on Facebook, and somebody was like, "You got an F in gym?" I was like, "They made it the last class of the day. What am I supposed to do?"
You wanted me to stick around all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just goes to show, like, with the right amount of hustle, and school just wasn't my thing. Biology wasn't my thing. Learning about stuff I didn't care wasn't my thing. I self-educate 4 hours a day. Mindset, business, leadership, fitness, 4 hours a day for the last, since YouTube has been a thing. And before that, I was reading books. But they were books that I cared about and resonated with and, stuck with me. Some people can read books about biology. It wasn't my thing, so it didn't work for me. But there's other ways to do stuff.
Yeah. Nice. So for me, knowing you a little more than most people may, I feel like you really are the whole package, man. And there's 3 areas that I see really make a well-rounded life: health, wealth, and love.
Yeah.
If you have all 3 of those things,
Yeah.
you truly have happiness. So if you went into each of those for yourself, what do you think has made you so successful in each, starting with health, then wealth, and then love?
The answer for all of them is my wife.
And she's here with us
And she's
behind the
here.
camera.
And not saying that because she's here. I'm just saying that because that's true. Like, she's a gangster. Everything we've done has been together. We've been together since she was 21. And so there is no before us. There is no mine. There is no hers. Everything we have is actually hers. But everything we have is done together. And it was done together with a purpose. We are on the same page. We spend 23 and a half hours a day together. Like, she's my best friend. She's the person I cry to when business sucks. She's the person that goes in and fills the gaps when I get pissed off and I'm sitting on the couch because I don't want to do it anymore. Like, she doesn't stop.
Yeah.
So that's 100% it. And it takes a lot of work on all fronts and on all ends to make that the key. But what we've done, if that's anything at all, I would not have been able to do by myself. She would not have been able to do that by herself. She'd be a school teacher right now, and she'd have a great life and a great family. And I would probably be dead laying in a gutter somewhere. But, I see people and younger people trying to do it, they're single, their wife has a job, or they're not on the same page and they're fighting about spending money or making investments. It's just never going to work.
Yeah. What, like, with you and Lindsay working together, living together, doing everything pretty much together, for people out there looking for love or looking for a partner, what would you say are like the top 3 things that they should be looking within a woman that they're wanting to fall in love with, outside of, clearly most people always look for looks, butts, boobs, like shit that doesn't matter, that's going to make no difference in their life whatsoever? What would be like your top 3 that they should be looking for?
I just hit the jackpot because I always figured I'm a fitness trainer. I can change all
Ah,
that.
you got the
No
whole
problem,
package.
whatever. But, she's just everything without having to do everything. But we've grown together.
Yeah.
And we've messed up together. Like, I filed bankruptcy twice. We did that together. Wow. So there's been a lot of bumps and a lot of bad learning experiences. But, I like to say I drive the bus over everything, and then she cleans up the mess behind it.
Yeah.
So it's a consistent, thoughtful compromise. Everything I do, everything I say, relating to her and relating to the things I want to do that will impact her or involve her. Because at the end of the day, if she's not happy, I'm not happy. And, I always thought that everybody was weird. I don't know what was wrong with everybody. And I read something and I was like, maybe I'm just weird. So I don't think I'm the easiest person to live with or get along with, but I think she's got it down pretty good because we've grown together.
Yeah.
And, that's all we know. So even if I'm weird, I guess I'm just her kind of weird.
Is it weird with the full Iron Man suit at the house? Like, is that his kind of weird? Is that the weird you're referring to? Or we get other kind of weird stuff?
Everybody should have a legit Iron Man suit.
That thing's legit.
The only thing right now, I think we're still about 2 years out from flight. but hopefully we'll have that done soon and really just compete the whole thing. And so
That'd be pretty
the
sick.
car will be for sale when that happens.
Yeah.
we won't need that anymore.
He'll trade that in for flying capabilities on the suit.
And even that, like, that was something we grew together, because when we met, we were just kids having fun. We were both waitresses. There was nothing, no relationship, nothing like that was ever going to come out of anything. Uh, but after she came over the first day, she just was hooked and never left. So
Couldn't get rid of her then.
couldn't if I wanted to. But yeah, it's daily work, it's daily compromise, and it's daily growth. So not only mindset towards leadership and business, but mindset towards how other people think. That goes back to touches on a lot of sales stuff, which is pretty much relationship and sales go hand in hand, because you're just giving and taking to make the person at the end of the day do what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I always, because I listen to stuff for at least 4 hours a day, and it's on playing all the time. My phone's in my pocket playing. So she hears it all the time, but I thought for years that she just tuned it out or didn't like it.
Yeah.
But then she got saying stuff that, like, of the stuff I was learning and I was listening to, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't how this is supposed to work. I'm the one who's doing the mind fucking. This isn't. So she started playing my tricks on me.
Reverse
Nice.
psychology.
Yeah.
No, it's so cool. Have you two done like relationship coaching or anything like in your years, or done that kind of stuff together?
When back in the day when we first started the gym, I was running the gym. I was there 20 hours a day. She was teaching full time as an art teacher
Okay.
in Rockford. And so after work, and as a teacher, your first year, you're building your lesson plans. And as an art teacher, you got to put all these projects together and then stay after and do art shows, stuff like that. So she was doing her 12-hour days, getting paid McDonald's money. And then she would come to the gym and help me. But I think that was the hardest time in our relationship, because we weren't together mentally and physically. Like, she had her life and I had my life, but my life was so busy. Hers was at the time too, but she could go home at night and leave work at least for a couple hours.
Yeah.
I couldn't, because I was messaging people, calling people, training people, doing everything back then.
Being a business
And
owner.
I was definitely a different person then in our relationship than I am now. I didn't understand that I had to understand and care about what she was doing, because I was so involved in what I was doing.
Yeah.
So luckily, she got laid off during the strike and came on with us at the gym. I really don't know if things at the time would have ended how they ended now, with, her being my best friend and us spending all day together every day, if she would have kept working. Because we weren't together, and I wasn't the person who understood the amount of work that it actually takes to be the person that somebody needs to be to rely on, to care enough to care about what she was doing, because I had so much going on.
Wow. It's a lot. I know this is ironic, but you kind of gave me the chills through part of that.
Yeah, it's really weird to think about. Like, when I was younger, I never thought, one, I'd be married. I never thought I'd have anything. Like, I was happy with a $2,000 truck.
Yeah.
We're eating off the dollar menu.
Yeah.
Now, our food budget's pretty aggressive, but we go out to eat like 15 times a week.
Yeah.
Aggressive.
And, our daughter's 23. And, that's another thing too. She came into our life when my daughter was 3. So that's all, we've all really ever known. But just for her to take that on too, on top of me being, a tenth of the guy mentally that I am now at the time, says a lot for the person she was back then.
Yeah.
Nice. I feel like we've always aligned really closely on this, but one thing that has worked for me since I started in business was giving. And I get to rest my head on the pillow every night knowing that, hey, I did something for someone else today, whether it was words of wisdom, free value, anything. I mean, shit, nowadays I feel like I still don't make enough offers because I'm just always like giving things for free.
Yeah.
Sales are a part of business, but how much of what you've done would you attribute to just giving back? Even now, I just see what you're posting about now. Obviously, you're in a place where you've put in a lot of the work and you're, you know, enjoying the fruits of your labor. But you're a giver from what I've noticed.
You know, that's what makes it fun. And earlier in life, I never had anything to be able to give, like of any monetary value or anything like that. I would always help people out when I could, but I was so self-involved trying to stay afloat doing what we were doing that we didn't have a ability to. So back in the early days of the gym, we started running kids camps, and I liked building stuff at the time, but I couldn't justify using my time in the day to build stuff. So what we did was the kids in the kids camps, kind of like middle school age, get 12, 15 kids to pay $59 for 8 weeks of training or whatever. So I'd train them twice a week. We'd talk about food, send them home with homework, come back. Oh, my cereal has this much sugar in it, stuff like that. So we're trying to learn. But also I wanted to give the giving back piece with it. So we started a nonprofit where we were building playhouses and outdoor play spaces for kids in the area who were deserving of it. Not necessarily poor, but actually going through something, cancer, or, did something really cool, lost a brother, something like that. And so I would have the kids that did the kids camps help me build it, paint the house, and then go out and present it to the kid. So they could see what it took, in the gym, but then they could see the other side too of what being a part of something bigger can actually accomplish.
Wow.
So we started doing that. We did that for 7 or 8 years. Haven't done it as much recently, but that was pretty cool. And that really kind of got us started. And, at the time, we didn't really have anything. So the Playhouse thing wasn't really a nonprofit. It was just me buying stuff. So now, though, we have a lot more disposable income. We're in a place, the gyms do well. We've got a great team there. We've got a great reputation in the community, as far as I know, over the last 15 years. But that all aside, just from the rental investments, we can't spend all of what comes in every month. So, a good portion of that goes back to doing everything we can for members at the gym, friends of people. I probably spend at least $1,000 a month buying random people's food just because we go out to eat all the time. But even that, like last Sunday, Lindsay had a bunch of projects she wanted to do, and she wanted to watch the Bears game. And we went out to dinner Saturday night with a buddy of mine, and he was talking about, I was thinking about having somebody paint my house, but I don't want to because, I know I could do it. So I was like, oh man, don't worry about it. Let's come over and knock it out tomorrow. And I didn't tell Lindsay right away. So I told her the next day, and she was like, oh, but I was like, it's cool. We'll do that tomorrow. We got the whole rest of our life to do whatever we need to. Let's go paint his house for him real quick. So we just banged that out, listened to football in the background, and went about everything else the next day.
Yeah.
So being able to have the free time mentally and financially to be able to do stuff like that is really cool. And it really makes, I guess, the last 20 years really worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. One of my favorite things to always see you post is when you guys go to the car shows and bring the Lamborghinis, and I can only picture like all the kids' faces when you let them sit in the car, check it out, walk around. It's always one of my favorite things when I see you guys post that simple kind of thing. But a lot of kids will never get that exposure or experience to be able to sit in those kind of supercars. And very rarely, clearly a lot of supercar owners don't let you have that experience. You can look at it, but don't touch it.
Yeah.
So when you're letting kids in there and kind of look at it, sit in the seats to see what it feels like, I feel like that's like a core memory that they'll never forget growing up, of being able to sit in that car and having that experience to make them dream bigger, knowing like their parents may never be able to afford one. They may never be able to afford one, but they'll always have that memory of when the guy at the car meet offered letting them sit in his car to see what it looked like, what it felt like, and just have that cool experience.
I get a lot of joy from that. And I've got the frunk full of small toy Lamborghinis.
Yeah, I saw you post
So,
that.
we give that out, and I'm like, hey, what color would you get if you get one? Green? come here real quick. I got out a couple months ago at a stoplight. There were some kids taking pictures out of the back seat of the car. I got out, and now I think about it, I could have got shot. So I got out, I opened the front at the stoplight. The dad's looking at the window out at me like, what's this guy doing getting in the, trunk of the car? But then I gave him two little cars, and turns out he owned a restaurant, and I had never met him, but he made a post about it, and some mutual friends had said something about it. So, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I'd never seen a car in person, a supercar ever, until I was 40. So as soon as I got one, I wanted to make sure that every opportunity I had, every person younger than me would have that opportunity. One, to see it and touch it like you were saying, but two, so that I could tell them that it's possible. And half the time, the mom will come up and say, "Oh, don't touch the car. Maybe if you get a good job, you can get one." It's like, save your money, buy a lot of real estate.
Yeah.
Your good job ain't getting you far.
Very true.
And it's cool with the teenagers and the older kids, because now they're starting to think about that, and they're seeing all of the people on TikTok that are 20 that have supercars, and it's just not reality. But, and probably can't make that much of an impact on somebody in a 30-second conversation, but at least we can get them started down the right road that it is possible. I never had that growing up.
Me either.
Great childhood, great growing up. We did what we did, but it was just not part of my world at that time.
Nice.
And, even like on the way here, I got a message from a buddy of mine who has a Ferrari. He must have saw us driving or something. He was like, "Isn't it time to put that thing up?" And we've gone to a lot of car shows together. And after a while, it gets kind of repetitive. Same cars there all the time,
Yeah.
same people. But the crowd that comes, the kids that come, make it worth it. And we have a French bulldog, and he also has a French bulldog. And he said, "Oh, you don't bring them? You don't put them in the car?" I was like, "Oh, no, I don't want him scratching the door or anything like that." He's like, "Oh, I bring mine in the car all the time. It's just a car." So I texted him back today. I was like, "Yeah, I'll put it up when the salt comes out on the roads. It's just a car, no big deal." So if somebody wants to sit in it, ride in it, drive it, it is what it is. It's a car. If it breaks, I'll get another one.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hear people say all the time, it's just a piece of metal. That's all it is.
It's an expensive piece of
Yeah.
metal, but at some point,
Yeah.
there's just levels to the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like my old truck was a really nice truck to me at the time. Took real good care of it. Don't touch it. Don't scratch it. $30,000.
Yeah.
It's just a different level, but it's the same
Yeah.
thing.
Comes with time, I think.
Yeah,
Too, right?
definitely.
First couple cars, I was like super anal about it always being clean and stuff,
Yeah.
And now it's out in the rain as we speak. It just doesn't bother me anymore. But it's good.
Mine
it's
will
got
be
a
out in
peace
the
of
rain
mind.
on the way home in about an hour.
Yes. Yes. So, Mike, you're not the most wealthy guy. You're not an influencer. You don't have the biggest muscles, but I feel like you've got the 10 out of 10 life, the life that most people would want.
Yeah.
What would be one piece of advice that you'd give people that are going through the thick of it right now, that are on the journey, that are like, wow, I want to just live a chill life like that guy?
Set realistic goals and stay off of social media. Every day I unfollow 5 to 10 people. I was in a Facebook group for Hummer owners. So we got one of the new electric Hummers. And every time I would go on there, that would be one of the first couple things in the news feed. And all I would see is these guys customizing these Hummers, getting new tires, new rims. And I'm thinking, man, yeah, I need to get some new rims too. I should spend $6,000 when these are perfectly fine. They just got them. So I was in town and I was like, there's only one other Hummer here. But on Facebook, everybody else in my world has a Hummer with new big lifted wheels and stuff. So I had to unfollow the group and push the X on all the ads I was getting for rims and tires. And now for the last 2 months, I haven't thought of it since. So, keeping your life and your expectations real, because everybody having a Hummer with bigger rims isn't real in my life for what I want. And now, the last couple of years, our motto, or mine at least, has been less is more. less people, less headaches, less customers, less headaches, less employees, less people are calling in sick, less I have to think about. So, what can I do? What realistic goal can I be super happy with and just say that's enough? So, in my life right now, it's like the beginning of the fourth quarter of the football game. We're winning by 50 points.
Mm.
We don't need to go hard and get 50 more points because we're good. We don't need to do anything else. We don't need any more money. We don't need any more headache. Um, we've got our life pretty much set up and designed right now. I'm not going to be flying around on private jets, but I'm okay with that. Like, I don't need that. I don't need 14 supercars because the maintenance and the insurance on one is enough. And plus, I can only drive one car at a time. So, it took me a while to realize that. And, when it comes to fitness, I've always wanted to be in great shape. I've always wanted to be a bodybuilder. Lindsay did a fitness competition. Luckily, she won that, so we didn't have to do it again. Got to have her system. She's way more dedicated than I am, so I never got to that point. But I've always wanted to be close, confident. And that could stem back to childhood issues where I guess everything would, where we were playing shirts and skins basketball and I wasn't comfortable being on the skins team.
Yeah.
So
You were tonight.
Yeah, that's probably where that's come from. But even with that, I don't need to be the biggest person. I don't need to be the most ripped. And it's just been the last 2 years where I was like, I'm good. I'm okay with that.
Hell yeah.
And I don't need the attention because my wife said she'll love me even if I gain a lot of weight, which is yet to be tested. But and that's really all that matters to me. If Lindsay and my daughter are happy, then I can be happy too.
Yeah. Well, you got a hell of a standard for life.
Yeah.
Kudos. Yeah.
It's been a long evolution.
Yeah,
Never ending evolution.
I'd say. So the takeaway to that, you'd say staying off social media really helps with everything you just broke down.
And, not even staying off, but keeping your algorithm or keeping your followings tight, because when you follow one thing, you're going to get shown more and you're going to see more and you're going to see more. And the more you look at it or click on it, the more you're going to see more. If all you're looking at on Instagram is booty models, your whole Instagram feed is booty models and Lamborghinis that are driven by 20-year-olds. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
But you need to unfollow. And then you'll be like, oh, look, there's videos of dogs and cats too.
Yeah.
But you never know that other side.
Wow.
Until then.
Boy, do we know some examples of that.
Yeah, so true. I mean, a thing that Tyler really helped me with is setting timers on each app. So like 20 minutes on each app a day. Like after that, it kind of just locks you out. You can't click in the app. You can't open it unless you change the timer settings in there to allow more time. But that's one thing that's really helped me to stay off social media is 20 minutes in each category each day is plenty. I feel like you get an hour overall if you do TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. That's pretty much all you need. If you're spending more time than that, I feel like you're just kind of defeating the whole purpose because you just get in scroll mode. You're just like scroll, and you're looking at nothing. You're just like watching a bunch of pointless, useless videos that aren't really enhancing your life in any area. So that's kind of what worked for me. But
more specifically, I think what you just said, what I've realized, and some examples that are coming through my head now is what you're doing on social media adding value to your life, or is it taking away from it? And now with InstaShred, we help a more wide array of people, the general public. But like when I was helping a lot of fitness competitors, I would ask them on coaching calls, who are you following online? And a lot of their body dysmorphia came from the comparison of people that chose to follow. All these natural competitors, figure competitors, bodybuilders, whatever division, you're following these people that are in the game of drugs. They're not talking about it in their posts, but you see it visually and you're like, holy shit, I'm so far off.
Yeah.
But you're still 10%.
If you're bigger than me, you're not natural.
Yeah,
like at some level. Like,
yeah.
And if you are on stage and you are chiseled, ripped to the bone, there's a few people out there.
Yeah.
But because, like you said, that's all they see is the bigger guy, the huge guy. And when you go to a local show, it's not like that.
No, not at all.
You might win and you could be the softest person there because 4 other people only show up in your category.
Yeah. Well said, man. Oh, wow. I feel like I've learned a lot tonight from this conversation. Thanks for coming over and
Yeah,
doing
no,
this.
man, I'm glad you guys said something. One, I've never tested out the ice bath before. So, these things are super cool. I always thought everybody I knew like had a huge one. It was plumbed in and you got to get like the cover for it. But, this just pops right up, fill it up and jump in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out once again to the Ice Pod company.
Portable, you can literally take it anywhere. Like that's what makes it easy. It just collapse. You have a little bag, you can carry it, set it up anywhere you want to go. So
It's nice.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Ice will do the trick, but hook a chiller up to it and it's ready for you all day, every day.
Yeah, and I really like the long one because like it didn't get up to my neck.
I was wondering where he was going with that.
we should have totally put him in the small one. He would have had nowhere to go but down.
For real, you would have been
I'd have
screwed in that
I'd have been
one.
on my knees.
Yeah, he rigged that one well. He's got the strategy. Cool. Well, thanks again for coming on, Mike.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate you.
Definitely.
You're living a good life, and I think there's going to be a lot of great takeaways for many other people than just us here today.
Yeah, I hope so. And like I said, it's been a long road for me. We've had a lot of different phases, but with the less is more motto, once you have enough, there's no point to keep going.
Yeah.
Nice. And shout out to Lindsay once again too. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, brother.
Definitely, man.
Seriously, hopefully this was valuable for every single person watching. And
I can wiggle my toes.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes later.
I'm not shivering anymore.
yeah, life is you versus you. So
Yeah, buddy. All right. See you next time.
Definitely.
yeah, catch you guys later.
Sounds